Hi, everybody. Here's an update on this Friday. Normally, I come to you later in the day. I'm coming to you this morning. It's about 10:10 in the morning. And I thought we'd start with just some reports from yesterday. Yesterday, depending on where you were, in the morning hours, at one point, model guidance was suggesting that freezing rain was going to become a problem across all of the Portland metro, or at least into the main downtown core of Portland. Um, Turns out we kind of dodged a bullet there. The freezing rain, which was a problem, pretty much stayed near 205 and then off to the east. And if you're watching any of the local news from the Portland market this morning, you noticed a lot of traffic reports and bad icing on that east side. Remember, it was freezing rain literally all day on Thursday in areas like Park Rose and Gresham. We had a sheet of ice over even I-205 in spots early this morning because of freezing rain in that area. So the reports from the National Weather Service are that just the freezing rain that came in to that East Metro on Thursday produced 0.2 of an inch of brand new ice in Park Rose. And I saw other reports of similar conditions in Troutdale and Gresham and Fairview. We had reports of significant icing, 1/10 of an inch of new ice yesterday that did leak in the Selwood and Lake Oswego areas. The main downtown Portland core dipped down to 33 yesterday morning, but they went back up into the mid 30s and held during the day. We avoided freezing rain rather in downtown Portland. And I found this to be interesting. So the National Weather Service office for Portland is also located. It's out near the airport. It's just a little bit east of 205. They too reported accumulating freezing rain, new ice, if you will, during the day Thursday and a Thursday night. And they put this out. So all total, including the icing that came in Tuesday night, Wednesday, the National Weather Service employees reporting 3/4 to 9/10, almost an inch of ice in that area over in East County. Wow, that's says a lot as to why we had so many issues. And then remember, the gorge was under a winter storm warning yesterday and last night. Hood River expected to get 5 to 10 inches of snow in that area. They picked up 6 down in the city center of new snow. That winter storm has ended. And in fact, I'm happy to tell you that this morning, all storm warnings for our immediate local area, including the Columbia River Gorge, have ended. And the number one headline at now coming up on 10/19 on this Friday morning is that in terms of precipitation, the threat for winter weather from the Arctic air that moved in last weekend is finally over. Finally over. So take a look at the radar. You see the rain up here, Astoria, and then up into parts of Washington. All of this is moving up to the north away from us. Certainly possible we'll see some light showers at some point scattered about today or tonight, but nothing substantial. And for the most part, nothing more than a trace of rain. So active precipitation that brought the storm last weekend, that brought the ice storm this Tuesday and the Wednesday, that brought freezing rain to mainly the East Portland metro yesterday into last night. Maybe put down some new ice where you are. The threat is all gone. We will not see anything like that with the last bit of moisture and these cold conditions moving away from us. So that's really some great news to share. So now we're obviously just waiting for the warm up. Still very hard to get around in parts of certainly Oregon and up into Southwest Washington and out in the gorge because of icing that remains on surfaces. Some of the live cameras suggesting some thin spots in the cloud cover. So there's Domain Serene Winery out in the Dundee Hills, some thin spots. There's Willamette Valley Vineyards. That's a camera just south of Salem on I-5. Some little thinning in the cloud cover. There's how icy it still is. I'm sure Camas Meadows Golf Course picked up at least somewhat significant freezing rain yesterday out there in Camas. Still a mix of ice and snow on the ground in Sun River, Lewis River Golf Course. Pretty clean looking, although there could be some icing that you can't really tell from this camera down in Silverton. There's the icy tarmac from Vancouver's Pearson Airfield. There's the snow in the gorge, again, 6 inches in Hood River yesterday from Indian Creek and some of the other cameras in our area. So now we are literally waiting for a warm up to break up the ice and get us back to normal. So what's going to happen today? Well, at 10 o'clock this morning, these are the temperatures. Notice still 30 in Gresham. And in fact, here's Troutdale. Look at the observation of Troutdale, 34 degrees. There's what I'm looking for. The east wind still sustained at 18, gusting to 30 or better during the day. We've already had 40-mile-per-hour winds this morning out in Troutdale. So that blast zone of the east winds coming out of the gorge continuing to be very frigid today. And that absolutely kind of stifles the temperature somewhat because temperatures out in the gorge today will not get above freezing. They will be in the 20s. But you get away from the east wind zone. Downtown Portland, 36. Beaverton's the same. Here's McMinnville, 37. Even up in Woodland, it's 39. Salem got chilly this morning for the first time, and they're at 36. And remember, we just saw that satellite picture of some thinning of the clouds. So my point here is I like most of us, maybe not you folks on the east side of the metro, but a lot of us, including downtown Portland, I like our odds to get up to 40 or at least very close today. That'll bring a little bit of thawing. Now, the bad news is with a lot of dry time tonight and the potential of some breaks in the cloud cover, if you have light winds at your place tonight, you could very easily get back down to freezing. And of course, that would reglaze any thawing that we had today. So overall, not much thawing today, not much thawing tonight, not much thawing Saturday. But I'm going to show you in a moment moisture coming in Saturday night and Sunday. And that will finally bring much moderated warmer air into the area and snap us out of this cold Arctic air. Okay. The gorge, it's open I-84. Simply telling people, though, to leave that to the truckers and road crews and people that really have to get through because it's 28, still flurries being reported in Hood River. And look at the ODOT camera. If you look carefully on your phone or however you're viewing this, that's still incredibly icy on I-84. Their temperature today, I don't think gets above freezing. This is the forecast for Stevenson, 34. That may be even too warm for them. But once you get into Hood River, it's in the 20s all day. Steady temperatures. These are current numbers in the gorge. The Dow's 27, Hood River 28, Cascade Locks 28. And again, the camera's really bad. Look at the Multnomah Falls parking lot area right here. I'll pop this up. I mean, that's just an icy mess, isn't it? Yeah. So the gorge, probably very icy conditions there overall until at some point Sunday. So let's talk about moisture that's coming in. Let me, so if you just watch my mouse, today we're getting a bit of a moisture break, pretty dry tonight. See this energy? This is going to zip into where this front is forming here, and there's going to be another low develop. And all this is going to bring moisture from south to north up across our area starting Saturday evening or Saturday night. That's the next big push of moisture, Saturday evening, Saturday night, into Sunday, into Monday, and even Tuesday. This will come, though, finally, with a warming batch of air. So let's track it with the National Weather Service's blended model. So this is tomorrow, Saturday at 4 o'clock. And again, you're looking down here and you're going to see this moisture sweep up to the north. So this is just showing you total moisture. It's not telling you what it is. I will tell you it's all rain, except for upper elevations in the Cascades and the Columbia River Gorge. But look how widespread and steady this is. So just through Sunday, starting Saturday evening through Sunday afternoon, here's a half of an inch of rain in Portland, over a half of an inch of rain at the coast. And while there might be some breaks, overall, it's going to be raining more than not Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, even into Wednesday. So let me play this into Wednesday. And look at the numbers now. 1.5 inches on average up and down I-5, 2.5, 2 3/4 inches of rain at the coast. Hefty amounts of precipitation really sweeping across all of Oregon and Washington. Now, at this point, there's no reason to believe that this moisture would be enough with whatever snow melt we have in the mountains. And down low. This is not enough to really cause any river flooding, but clearly there's going to be a period of very messy, sloppy conditions as the rain comes in and we melt the snow and we melt the ice and some storm drains get clogged and that type of thing. Okay. But this absolutely comes in with warming weather, except for the gorge. Now, what this is Sunday at 4 p.m., Sunday at 4 p.m. Everything you're looking at right here is brand new icing, sleet, freezing rain, mostly freezing rain. I think I've got freezing rain is what I'm showing here in the gorge. Now, these aren't hefty amounts, but certainly enough to make traveling very difficult. And I would assume there's at least a chance of maybe up to 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulation. I haven't looked at this closely enough to see what the ratio is going to be in the gorge Saturday night and Sunday in terms of ice or snow. I have noticed some of the modeling puts out at least a pretty consistent mix of ice and snow in the gorge. So again, this is Saturday night, Sunday. At some point Sunday afternoon, I think it's reasonable that we will start to see temperatures in the gorge get up to 32 and eventually a little bit warmer. And then once that happens, there will be no additional cooling. The gorge will continue to warm into next week, and everything will be back to rain except for the upper elevations in the Cascades. So that's good news. The coast range temperatures this afternoon, by the way, above freezing if you're traveling to the coast or back and forth into the valley. Okay, so that's kind of what's coming up. Next batch of moisture Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. comes with warming temperatures. We believe the valley will be steady temperature-wise Saturday night into Sunday, and it will be all rain. This is the upper flow pattern, and this is starting this afternoon. So this is the way a forecaster kind of glances and makes temperature judgments and storm judgments and kind of overall pattern judgments, if you will, not to use that word a ton. But here's the low down south that eventually will gain energy and bring rain up into us on Saturday. Here's Sunday afternoon. Remember, Monday we're still wet. Here's another system producing some rain into Wednesday. And then we get past Wednesday, and here's a dry Thursday that looks like it's mid-50s. I mean, look at the pressure height, 558. That's about a 564 pressure height. This is maybe a dry 57 degree afternoon in Portland if we have sun. So wouldn't that be nice? And that's a pretty warm pattern. The next system kind of glances us. This is what? This is Saturday, January 27th. Remember, if you watch these videos before, I've shown you the blue contouring up here. It's kind of where the polar jet is, more or less, and that's where the real cold air would be. So as long as that's well to our north, we're looking at typical weather patterns, nothing more. And also notice this low with the cool weather it brings in and some rain chances Saturday, the 27th of January, according to this one model. This is Gulf of Alaska air. It's not Arctic air. In fact, there's mild ridging up into Canada right there. No signs of any renewed Arctic air at all. Look at this. We get into the final days of January, January 29th. This is huge warming. Now, this time of the year, when you get a big ridge like this, it often means a temperature inversion. Sometimes you get stuck in fog and low clouds in the morning, and you never clear out, and you have kind of a chilly 43-degree afternoon. But if you get sun, you pop well up into the 50s, okay? So this is dry, really warm weather. Here's a system coming in the February 1st, but again, just kind of glances at us. So that's a typical westerly flow, bringing some moisture off the Pacific. Now here's a cold low. This is, you would expect this to change. And this is only one forecast model, but hopefully it gives you an idea if you're wondering what's February going to be like. So here's Saturday, February 3rd. Notice the blue contouring. This is cold air, but it's also air that's come out of the Gulf of Alaska, not Canadian air. But you would assume snow levels with some heavy snow, at least down to 2,000, maybe 1,500 feet, for example, with some hefty rain in the valley. This would potentially be snow over at least the upper elevation highways of the Coast Range. So that's what that would be. There's another one that drops through. So that's pretty cold, pretty wet weather, low snow levels in the mountains. February, 2nd, 3rd, this is February 5th. It's still going on. But then we get in some ridging. And then all of a sudden, here we are, February 7th. This is really mild, warm stuff again. I'm just going to go really quick. That's another big, warm, mild ridge. That's February 10th. Oh my goodness, this is super mild. This is the type of stuff mid-February that makes you think of spring. If you don't get stuck with fog and low clouds in the morning, you're in the upper 50s, maybe pushing 60 degrees. So that gives you an idea what to expect, really, the first couple weeks of February. To me, I was asked about this earlier this morning on KXL radio. While February does show at least a few pretty active storms with low snow levels, which we need. You want to build the snowpack in the Cascades. But in between all that, it shows a number of really warm patterns coming in. There are no signs through mid-February right now of any Arctic air returning, okay? No signs of that at this point. We'll keep you updated. So for Portland, trying to get to 40 today. If we make it, it'll be the first time in a week. Tomorrow, freezing in the morning. Again, we thaw a little bit today. We have icy spots in the morning, but we warm up to 43. Then we have all that rain. Notice the temperature stay steady Saturday night, 40 in Portland. 46 Sunday. There's the significant warm up. There's the significant warm up on Monday. Wet at times, 41 to 48. Tuesday, an early shower and then potentially dry, but 43 to 51. The rainy day on Wednesday, 52. And there's a partly cloudy 54-degree Thursday. Snow levels over the weekend will be high on Saturday. If you're going up the mountain, it could be a mixture of precipitation up through 5,000 feet at least, maybe 6,000 feet. Snow levels on Sunday, closer to 4,000 or 4,500 feet if you're thinking about going up to the mountain. All right. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so. That helps me out. My weather site's portlandweather.com. Thanks for listening to all these videos over this past week. I hope that my information helped you make some wise decisions from my forecaster's chair. I really thought from the storm last Saturday to the freezing rain Tuesday and Wednesday to the ice threat that hit some, but not everybody, that we sounded the alarm on yesterday. I felt like the forecast work was pretty good. And I hope it helped you plan as well. For now, I'm meteorologist Rod Hill.